is going to be your top 5 ever Liverpool players of all time. So I will be starting with mine and saying the reasons why I love them as a player. So yeah, we'll just have a chat and you can go through your top 5. I hope you're well. It's lovely and sunny here at Anfield as always in the last few weeks. So I'm just going to wait for everyone to join on the DTBTV, sorry, the Doubtless the Believers page. So let me just say hello to them first. Just going to type hello to everybody here. Right, so big week coming up, as I keep saying, Manchester United. So it's actually the biggest week ever in terms of the season. If it's Liverpool, Man United, as I'm sure you will agree with, we love games. So, like I say, this week's a big week for the group as well because it's our first time we do the fundraising idea and scratch cards. So I really hope everyone gets behind this because it's vastly important for the group. No, sorry, for the channel to get all the equipment ready for the start of next season. There's always a car at Revs by when I go live. So yeah, so basically I'll be doing the scratch card as soon as it gets here. The postman hasn't come here yet, so as soon as I do that, put all the teams that are available. Again, my stance will change with regards to just the fans that are on here to just ruin the mood of the group. You know, to be honest with you, a lot of people's had a go at me for removing that guy that predicted we lose 5 games out the next 5. Don't really want that on the group. Yeah, all right, you can say everyone's entitled to an opinion, but if your opinion is that you think Liverpool are going to lose the next 5, then I don't want you on this group. It's as simple as that. And can I just ask who and what supporter of a team that he loves or she loves would ever predict that we'd lose 5 in a row? And I've seen a comment saying, well, Neil, we lost 6 in a row at home. Yeah, but no fan predicted it. No fan says, oh, do you know what? I think we'll lose 6 in a row. Who says that? They don't. So I will not change my stance with the fact that I want this group to be a feel-good group, not always licking the players' behinds, no, but also being a little bit educated in how they speak about football and seeing it from a football point of view. Like I say, I might be a bit of a hothead sometimes, some people say, or a little bit daft or a little bit mad, but I tell you what, I know my football. I can tell you that now. I do know my football. And I told you we'd sign Kabach as well, because anyone with a good view of football that's seen football before and knows the game will tell you that they can see in him a bloody good defender. And he's already a bloody good defender now. Like I say, his movement, he's good on the ball. He's arrogant in possession. He's prepared to take risks. Now, a defender at 21 would normally just be passing it side to side. Here we go. I don't want to put myself out of risk here. I don't want to put myself in any danger. I want to just take it easy, play the easy ball. No, he takes risks. He plays direct football. He goes forward. He sometimes drives from the back. And as I said, working with the greatest centre-back in the world will only make him a better player. And for 18 million euros, it is a shoo-in. So Kabach will be a good signing, along with Konate. We should be seriously strong again next season. And with the fans back, it's like people say we want this big marquee signing. The marquee signing for us is us being back in the stadium next season. That is the biggest signing that we could make this summer. And that's us returning to the terraces. So, yeah, so the scratch card will start this weekend. Like I say, I did put up on the poll if people thought £2 was too expensive and if it would have been better being £1. But no one's actually put anything. So I'm just worrying about filling the card, because the last thing I want to do is fill 40 of them and still have 40 left. So I want to keep this card just for this group. But if it comes down to it, to fill the card, I'll have to go on my personal Facebook. And that's what I don't want to be doing every week. I don't want to be chasing it. So if it's £1 a go, I'm not arsed. It's better than nothing. But if everyone's happy with £2 or free for a £5, that gives you 3 chances to win £80 a week. 80 quid a game, actually. So you could, that's brilliant. And I watched yesterday, Stephen sent me yesterday another group that does them, and it's actually really good, isn't it? The way he sets his camera up so you can see the whole scratch card, and then he just reveals the winning team, and then he goes and he looks in his book, because obviously his book will tell you who's got that team, and he goes, right, it's Susan from Yeovil. She's just won 80 quid. And that's great. And then you've got to think about the fact that 80 quid's yours. And then this side of it, You've got equipment getting bought for DTBTV for us to bring you the best footage around Anfield next season. And you get a charity donation and helping out our non-league brothers, AFC Liverpool, as well. So it's a shoo-in. So I really, really hope you all get behind that, because if it does, then we can get everything we need for next season for the price of, what, a couple of quid a game. I mean, if you want to do it, there's no pressure, of course. It's just a fundraising campaign that we're going to continue to do to run the channel whilst we don't get paid for what we do. Simple as that. Right, so today's video, my top 5 greatest Liverpool players of all time. So I'll start with number 1. And I'm sure you've guessed it, Steven Gerrard. So Steven Gerrard for me was a man that should have had a cape sewn to the back of his neck, because the amount of times that man just saved Liverpool literally on his own. And do you know what? I come from a Scottish family, and half of the Scottish family I support, I've got in my family, are Rangers fans. And do you know what? When they signed him, they knew who they were getting, because they'd seen me all my life coming up to Scotland watching all the Liverpool games. But the Scottish do follow the Premier League. They watch every game up there. They all have a second team. And to now see, I bought my Auntie Franny a signed Steven Gerrard shirt, Rangers one, when he just took over. And I said to her, by the time he leaves, this will be worth 4 or 5 times the value what I paid for it. And she didn't even know that I'd sent her it. I left it there as a surprise. She didn't even know who'd sent her it. And then I admitted it was me. Let's just say already as a league champion, he's already doubled that in value already. So what will it be when he finishes? I don't know. So that was great. But I'm not on his playing ability. I remember only last year we played AC Milan. I think it was last year or the year before. We played AC Milan in the Legends game. Now, in a Legends game, the atmosphere ain't very great, is it? It's quite quiet, and in spells it gets loud. Now, I was just behind the home dugout, so I had the view that was that good that I actually had a photo that day with Paolo Maldini, who's a god in football, right? And Gerrard kept on coming short for the ball. Now, my mum was with me. My mum has never seen Liverpool play at Anfield. It was her first ever game, and she absolutely adores Steven Gerrard. This is the first thing that happened. He gets the ball. Clarence Seedorf and Kaká and Pirlo were stood right there, yeah? And I remember this like it was yesterday. He hits the ball, and I mean, about 70 yards with backlift and whip, and you can see the ball spinning as it bends to the left around. And I'm talking from the dugout, switching it to the top end left-hand corner, and you could hear the whistle of the ball because of the atmosphere not being that great and because of where I was sat. Now, this is what Jamie Redknapp says about Steven Gerrard. When he first came into training, he pinged this ball and you could just hear it. You could hear something in it, like venom and power and spin, and so it bends to the player. And this is what you call a world-class footballer. Right, so anyway, it gets to the 80th minute, no, 79th minute, because they only play 80 minutes in the Legends games. And my mum was like, oh, do you know what? I didn't get to see Steven Gerrard score. Gutted. I said, Mum, I said, don't write him off yet. There must have been about 2 minutes left. So he receives the ball from the, bear in mind, he's not played for 2 years. This is him as a 38-year-old manager for Rangers, but he's playing for Liverpool with the armband on, right? He receives the ball box, bursts forward at full pace, right? Drives into the cop half, to the cop end, towards the cop end, plays it into Djibril Cissé. Cissé then spins, gives it back to Stevie. Stevie then ducks this way, ducks that way, and bang, smashes it straight in off the post, bang into the net. My mum couldn't believe it. The old grand Steven Gerrard. And I said, Mum, all game he was waiting for that. He was that good, right? When he hit that pass, Seedorf and Kaká and Seedorf were doing that. They were applauding on the pitch at the way, because they'd all retired a few years, but Gerrard could still play. That's why I was surprised he didn't go to Rangers and be player manager for the first 18 months, because he was good enough, right? And I'm telling you now, right, all game, for those of you that were at that match, you will know what I'm talking about. All game, running towards the goal, and then the whole crowd's going, shoot! And he's going, and he just passes it. He was winding us up all game. He wouldn't shoot, right? And then last minute he shoot. And if you are that good that you can wait until the last minute because you've got that much belief in your ability that if you wanted to, the next time you receive the ball, you'll just bang it in the goal, then you are a god. And Steven Gerrard is a god. I know Kenny Dalglish was brilliant, but he played in better teams. To me, Steven Gerrard is not only my pick of the best player of my life, but I think he's the greatest Liverpool player that's ever worn a shirt. And that's just my probably biased opinion, right? And I've met the man as well, and I've got an amazing photo of him. In fact, I might as well show you it while I'm here. Let me get it. For those that ain't seen it. Oh, shit. Get the light. Oh. Right, we've had a collapse here. Is it there?
Nope.
No. Is it back on, yeah?
Yeah, it's still back on.
Yeah. Forget it. I can't find it. It's behind there somewhere. Anyway, you've seen it. And I've just knocked the light over, so that's not good, is it? Sorry about that. Anyway, so, yeah, so he's literally... I was just going to show you the photo just because it's smart for people that haven't seen it. Obviously, I'm going to brag about that till I die. So, yeah, so it was unbelievable just being in that ground with my mum and obviously, like, him scoring the goal. So, yeah. And obviously the games you think about, I was behind a Kop goal for Olympiacos. I was at his last ever game when we lost 6-1 to Stoke, which was emotional. I was at his last ever last ever appearance at Wembley when we lost to Aston Villa in the FA Cup, which was gutting because it would have been on his birthday, the final, if you can remember, because he's born on the 30th of May, innit? So the final would have been on his birthday. Then I went to his last game against Palace when obviously it was probably the most emotional game I've ever been to in my life because, you know, for those that were there that day, we had to hold up, like, you know, the things you get that's in your seat that spells like, you know, our captain and that, and oh my God. And then when you give that speech, I swear to you, I had like an apple in my throat. I know you got an Adam's apple, but I had like a proper apple in my throat. So yeah, so that's Steven Gerrard. He's my number one, as always. Right, number two. The man that I used to pretend to be at school every single day of my life, every playground trip, every single, shot at goal, I always screamed the name Fowler. So being a 37-year-old man, he's my era. And Robbie Fowler, to me, is God. And another guy I've had the pleasure of meeting and having a photo with twice, actually. And actually shook his hand at the Real Madrid game as well, the legends. Yeah, so Robbie Fowler to me, I mean, I still haven't seen a player like him, right? And what I mean by this is I haven't seen a player that you celebrate before he's put the ball in the net, right? With Robbie Fowler, if you listen to Martin Tyler's commentary, right, he doesn't say, like he does for every single footballer in the Premier League, single time Martin Tyler knew that as soon as a ball, when it's in that box to Fowler, is in the back of the net. So at the end of the day, to me, the most naturalist finisher that I've ever seen. I mean, there's stories, if you read his book, on Gerrard's book as well, the stories that he used to be that good. He used to be able to hit on the back of the head from like if you could be like Gerard Houllier was given an interview once, I think, when Fowler wasn't in the team. And I think Fowler said, "Watch this," and pinged the ball straight to the back of Gerard Houlier's head. That's what got him in trouble when he was doing the nets or something. Or Sammy Lee's head, I think it was. He could just hit the eye of a needle with everything. When he came back, oh my God, when Rafa brought him home, which I think Klopp should do Suarez, just for a season. When Rafa brought him home, I remember, he went through that little spell of scoring about 6 goals in 12 games against West Brom and Wigan. I remember his debut against Fulham, where he did everything but score. He got a goal. Remember the noise when he came off the bench? And he said that when he got the contract by Liverpool, he didn't even look to see how much they were paying him. He just signed it. He said, "I don't care if they said it was for nothing." And there's a true story, if you actually read his podcasts, that he actually message Brendan Rodgers in his first season when we were short of strikers. We were using, I think we used Adam Morgan in pre-season. Fowler actually sent him an actual genuine like a message of his boots saying, "I'm ready if you ever need me." Now, if you look back, Brendan Rodgers take of 2-12. Fowler was still playing. I think he was in Australia. I think he was playing for that Perth Glory or something like that, whatever it was. So yeah, Robbie Fowler. Again, I'll never ever see another striker like him again. I mean, he was just brilliant. I mean, that goal. Remember the goal he scored against Vladikaz, I think it was in Russia, where he heels it. No, it was Bran. I think it was SK Bran. Yeah, it was Bran. He scoops it up with his instep of his heel over the head and volleys it. I mean, bloody hell. And then the hat trick against Arsenal in 4 minutes. Who's to think that Mane would end up beating that with Southampton? So yeah, that's my second player, God. So Gerrard first, and obviously Robbie Fowler second. Third, now this was a difficult one because these two, it's like a joint third in a way. So third is Luis Suarez, and it's Luis Suarez based on the fact that I love Torres, who's fourth, by the way, but I'm just saying Luis Suarez to me was just box office. He was everything that you want in a footballer. You always knew he was going to play. He was the pantomime villain. The goals he scored, I mean, the four against Norwich, I mean, the four against Norwich are out of this planet. I mean, the volley he hit, and then he scores one with his left, and then he scores the free kick. There, no one talks about the free kick. He whips a free kick in from about 30 yards and then scores the one against Newcastle where he had the time to not just bring it down on his head, but then his shoulder to go around the keeper. I mean, this guy's a genius. And if Steven Gerrard is saying that he's the greatest footballer that he's ever seen in his life, that shows you just how good Luis Suarez is. And his goal record is shocking. And it still is. So if Klopp can get him back for just a season, then I'd sign him tomorrow. You'd make millions in shirt sales. I'd be the first to get Suarez back on my shirt, which is very rare because I don't read anymore. And you'd get goals. And if he's prepared to play rotation, he was on the bench yesterday for Atletico Madrid, then Luis Suarez is a no-brainer. And I just think, wouldn't it be great to win the Premier League and he gets to ram that up Patrick Evra and Man United? That would be brilliant. So that's number 3, and that's Luis Suarez. Number 4, Fernando Torres, of course. Again, being a striker myself, as a kid, I looked up to Fowler. I looked up to, Owen, and I looked up to like Shearers, all them Batistuta. I remember the days of Ivan Zamorano, Marcelo Salas, Shevchenko, George Weah. Like that was my era. That was all the strikers. Roberto Baggio. The list goes on. We could be here all night. But that was my era. That was the team's Titi Camara. I used to like him, actually. So anyway, Torres. I mean, I went round to my mate's house who was a Chelsea fan, and it was his debut. And he skinned John Terry, didn't he? And that was it. That was when I fell in love with the lad. He had the slick hair. He was a good-looking lad. He had the power. He had the shoulders. He had everything, Fernando Torres. He really did. With Suarez, looks like he's been dragged through a forest, like. But Torres, he had everything, didn't he? I bet the ladies loved him as well. So basically, Torres, he was just, and the song as well, his armband proves he was all red. I mean, that's just one of my favourite Liverpool songs of all time. Number 4 is, that was Torres, wasn't it? 4, sorry. Number 5, last but not least, this was a toss-up, but it's Xabi Alonso. I love Xabi Alonso. I love the way he played, loved the way he passed, loved the way he never had an angry bone in his body, always looked relaxed, very caring, very humble. Xabi Alonso, great passer of the ball. It reminds me of him a lot, it really does. Just a great footballer, great human being as well, from what I've been told. That everybody that's worked at the club that I know that said that when he was at the club, he was just an absolute gentleman. That's my top 5. I'll go through some comments now, and then I'll try not to trip over the light again. What, that one there?
Not that one.
That one. Yeah, there's a link for that T-shirt behind me. Just inbox Craig Farragher off the group, one of the admins, the joint DTBTV co-producer, but a broadcaster with me. And they're for sale on the website that Craig's got. So just inbox Craig Farragut if you're interested in any of these behind me. So yeah, just got the news a minute ago that we're going to start our six-a-side team. We can't join till August, but there will be a six-a-side DTBTV foot team starting. So we'll have results on here every week, a little bit of fun, see if we can win some trophies and promote the group. So the group's flying now. I'm not going to stop. I've told you this. I said this yesterday. I'm not stopping until we get everything. Right. G. Daniel. Yeah. Hello. What a great fan to make that prediction. Right, exactly, Colin. Yeah, exactly, mate. And I've been getting some stick as well about that, you know, getting rid of a fan who's... there was a comment saying every fan's entitled to their opinion. Well, how does that work? Because what if his opinion is that we're a load of crap, we're going to lose 5 games and we should sack Klopp? It's still an opinion. He's entitled to it. But it's my group. I don't want him on it. I don't want anybody on here that is just depressing, because the world's depressing as it is. You know, if you come on here and you say, do you know what? Look, there was so many comments when I put up that, what do you think Liverpool will get out the next 5 games? And they were all real educated football comments. Right, well, having said that, Man United is a tricky away game. I can see us getting 7 out of 15, or I can see us getting 9 out of 15. Well, to tell you what, struggle for a couple of wins, probably a couple of draws. That's educated. Somebody that comes on and goes, we'll lose 5 out of 5. Do you want him? Do you even want me to even contemplate why I got rid of him for that? You're a football supporter. Supporters believe in their team, whether they're crap, whether they're not. You know, look at Fulham. Fulham haven't given up the towel yet, trying to go down. Do you think any of their fans are going to lose every game from now to the end of the season? No, because he won't go anymore. You've got to keep going. And I tell you what, even if you think, even though I never would, that you're going to lose 5, you certainly don't put it on a fan group with 11,000 members on it, because you'll just get absolutely slaughtered. So in a way, I saved him, because I deleted it within a minute of him putting it on and just got rid of him. So if I'd have left it on there, I'm sure the Sharks would have been out and he'd have probably been attacked from about 1,000 Liverpool fans going, hang about. Where's your passion? Where's your support for the club? Where's, you know, what annoys me is there's a lot of comments at the moment going, this season's been a failure and a disgrace. They just totally write off everything. They write off no fans. They write off injuries. They write off no Van Dijk for the entire season as a cruciate ligament injury. They write off Gomez being written off the whole season as a cruciate ligament, or even worse than that. They write off Klopp losing his mother, not going to the funeral. They write off, Alisson losing his father. Oh, why? Because they can't get their little petty little win every week. They can't get their glorified little, we're in the Champions League final here. We were so lucky to get to 3 European finals in a row. And do you know what? Some of these fans expect 20 in a row, right? And that's what pisses me off. So at the end of the day, I might cause a little bit of controversy, but this group will be great because I will only allow people in it that are, 1, know about their football, 2, support the club, even when they're saying that was a crap performance today. Tell you what, Robertson had a shocker. But we've got to now dust ourselves down and go again. That's a football fan. That is a Liverpool supporter. I don't want 100,000 members that just post absolute nonsense. I want this group to be something where everyone goes, do you know what? That group, you get a real good conversation on there. You get a real good debate about it. You also get a lot of people that know their shit. Sorry, the mouse has just dropped. It slides off my knee. So anyway, that's what I'll stick by all the time. This in an age, Kabak is a steal at that price. Totally agree, Carl. Where's that Liverpool top from? Next to Klopp. Inbox Craig. Yeah, you've tagged him. Oh, it's a comment's gone now. I can't fucking read that. Oh no, it's come back. That's it. Yeah, back. Right. Hello, Adrian. Hello, Jay. Sorry if I said that wrong. For me, Gerard Firmino, Laver, Hendo and Trent. You like Lucas Laver? That's a weird one. I didn't expect to see him in the third. Gerard is a legend, damn right. Most controversial goal celebration of all time. Oh yeah, Robert. Mine is Gerard, Suarez, Jamie Carragher, Peter Crouch and Hendo. Gerard, Hippier, Fowler and Rushy. That's only four, Andy. You need another one. Are my favourite, so much the very best. Cal, workhorse, totally agree, Carl. Luis Garcia, Javi Alonso, Steven Gerrard and Robbo, Lee Mason, Gerrard, Fowler, Carragher, Suarez, Alonso. That's nearly the same as mine, but the fact that I've got Torres instead of Cara. El Nino, Cole. Good afternoon, Neil. Cheers, David Spence. West Brom haven't given up yet of going down. Exactly, that's my point. You just don't give up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That's my top 5 Liverpool players of all time. You'll never walk alone. That's all right, apart from the fact they're fucking still live as well. Doesn't mean a lot. I'm trying to press end. That was all right, apart from tripping over that fucking lamp. Don't mind though.
Make sure the YouTube one goes off.
Oh yeah, I haven't done that. Yeah, I always have to remind myself to turn YouTube off as well. There you go. Cheers. See you later, everyone.